You want to go fast? I'm going to tell you how. The way to do it is by modifying your engine. There's a few different ways you can modify your engine, but the best way to do it is by a forced induction system. Most engines are naturally aspirated, some can't be modified, but the ones that can, there's two main ways to do it. And that's by forced induction through turbocharger, a supercharger, or in some rare cases you can do both, which is called twin charge. Both of those, or all three, all do the same basic principle with a few minor differences. So I'm going to get into it by starting with how engines work and a little bit of the history of each one of these ones. So engines work by intaking air and fuel, and through the fire triangle, which is fuel, oxygen, and heat, they burn it, which creates power, and then subsequently exhaust. The optimal fuel-air ratio in a car, or air-fuel rather, is 15:1. So in Sauer's turbocharger versus supercharger, it states that a supercharger was invented in 1860 for blast furnaces, and Mercedes was the first car to use it in their engines in 1921. The turbocharger was invented in 1905 for ship and aircraft engines, and was first used by Chevrolet in 1962 for their Corvette. Forcing air increases the ratio, allows more fuel to be burned, therefore creates more power. There are three main reasons why a turbocharger is better. It's fuel efficient, it's cheaper, and you can stack them to eliminate boost lag. So let's get started with how it's fuel efficient. You might think that increasing power and burning more fuel would be worse. However, the way that a turbocharger works is by two turbines. One feeds off the engine and the other one intakes air, which then forces it into the intake. So it's kind of like a mini compressor. Superchargers, like a water pump, are driven by the engine themselves, which actually wastes more fuel because it needs the engine's power to drive them. According to an article on how stuff works, by using wasted pressure off the exhaust, fuel efficiency is saved at the cost of a short delay, otherwise known as boost lag, which can be fixed, and I will tell you how later. So, also they can be cheaper in more ways than just that. Turbochargers can approximately cost $500 to $2,000 depending on the kit. That's before labor, so it will cost more than that in the end. However, a supercharger usually costs between $1,500 to $7,500 before labor. So it's a big difference in the two. You may think that superchargers are more powerful. And this can be true, but not always. There's many different size turbos. So if you have a smaller turbo, it gives you immediate power with less in the initially. Or if you use a larger turbo, it'll give you a greater amount of power, but takes longer to heat up and needs more engine RPMs to do so. This is where stacking them comes into play. By using a smaller turbo and a larger turbo, you get rid of the boost lag that I talked about earlier, and you can create the same amount of power that a supercharger would have. So you can also, if you have enough money, you can even twin charge it. This is not something that most people do because it is the most expensive out of all the items, because you are adding a supercharger with a turbocharger to have the initial boost that you want with the high-end speed that you can vastly get. So this just goes to show you that whistling that a turbo gives and a blow-off valve are not the best part of turbos. So a quick recap, turbos are more fuel efficient, they cost less, and they can be doubled up to nearly match the output of a supercharger. Now, turbochargers are not for everyone. As I stated before, some engines can't handle the power that they'll give off, and they can't be modified to do so, even in the end. And they can be very dangerous. It can destroy an engine, and it creates too much boost for even you to handle in a car to begin with. So if you want to be like the Fast and Furious or Ricky Bobby, turbochargers or superchargers might be for you. Just jump to forced induction. Thank you.